In the not-so-distant future, humanity reaches for the stars, sending the Ares 3 mission to explore the vast, red expanse of Mars. Among the crew is Mark Watney, a brilliant botanist and mechanical engineer with a sharp wit. Their mission on the Acidalia planitia is cut short when a ferocious storm, far exceeding any prediction, descends upon their habitat. The crew is forced to make an emergency evacuation. In the chaos of blinding dust and violent winds, Watney is struck by flying debris, a piece of the main communications antenna, and is thrown out of sight. His suit's biometrics flatline, and telemetry is lost. Believing him to be dead, Mission Commander Melissa Lewis, with a heavy heart, makes the agonizing decision to launch, leaving her fallen crewmate behind to save the rest of her team. The Mars Ascent Vehicle, or MAV, blasts off, escaping the storm's fury and beginning its long journey back to Earth. But Watney isn't dead. He awakens sometime later to the shrill cry of a low-oxygen alarm, the silence of the now-empty planet his only companion. The antenna impaled him in his suit, but the wound, while severe, was sealed by his own blood, preventing a complete depressurization. He stumbles back to the now-deserted habitat, the Hab, a lone human on a planet entirely devoid of life. Watney performs emergency surgery on himself, pulling the metal shard from his side with grim determination. He's alive, but his situation is beyond dire. He's stranded, with no way to communicate with Earth or the departing Ares 3 crew. The next mission, Ares 4, won't arrive for another 4 years. The supplies left behind are designed to last a crew of 6 for a month. For one person, that stretches things out, but not nearly enough. Watney, a man of science, refuses to succumb to despair. He methodically assesses his resources, calculating his odds. He has a functioning habitat, solar panels for power, and 2 rovers for limited exploration. His most pressing problem is food. The rations will run out long before any potential rescue. But Watney is a botanist. He looks at the vacuum-packed potatoes intended for a Thanksgiving meal and sees not just a single dinner, but a harvest. He has a crazy, brilliant idea. He will farm on Mars. To grow crops, he needs 3 things: water, soil, and fertilizer. Martian soil is sterile, lacking the necessary bacteria for plant growth. So, he meticulously collects the biological waste left behind by his crewmates, combining it with his own to create a rich, albeit unpleasant, fertilizer. He mixes this with the Martian regolith inside the Hab. Water is an even bigger challenge. He has a limited supply, but he needs far more. Watney recalls his chemistry. He can create water by extracting hydrogen from the leftover rocket fuel, hydrazine, and carefully burning it with oxygen. It's an incredibly dangerous process. A single spark could turn the Hab into a fireball. With painstaking precision, he sets up his makeshift chemical reactor. The process is nerve-wracking, but it works. He successfully generates water, drop by precious drop, enough to irrigate his fledgling potato farm. Watney transforms a section of the Hab into a Martian greenhouse, a patch of green life in a world of red dust. Back on Earth, months have passed. NASA, mourning the loss of their astronaut, continues to monitor Mars via satellite. A sharp-eyed satellite planner named Mindy Park notices something strange. Equipment at the Ares 3 landing site has been moved. Solar panels, once covered in dust, are now clean. She alerts her superiors, Dr. Vincent Kapoor, the director of Mars missions, and Teddy Sanders, the head of NASA. They are skeptical at first, but the evidence is undeniable. They re-examine the site and realize the impossible truth: Mark Watney is alive. The world erupts with the news. A single man is surviving against all odds, 140 million miles from home. NASA faces a monumental crisis. How do they communicate with him? How can they possibly rescue him? The political and public pressure is immense. They begin working around the clock, brainstorming every conceivable option. They first need to re-establish contact. Watney, meanwhile, has a plan of his own. He knows that the Pathfinder probe, a mission from the 1990s, is located somewhere within driving distance. If he can find it and get it working, he might be able to use its camera and transmitter to signal Earth. He modifies one of the rovers for the long journey, packing it with extra batteries and life support. The journey across the Martian landscape is perilous. He faces treacherous terrain and the constant threat of equipment failure. After a long and arduous drive, he finds Pathfinder and its small rover, Sojourner. He loads them onto his rover and brings them back to the Hab. After days of tinkering, he miraculously gets the old probe working. He points its camera at the hab and begins a rudimentary form of communication with NASA, using hexadecimal code and handwritten signs. For the first time in months, he is no longer alone. He can talk to Earth. The exchange is slow and clumsy at first, but it evolves. NASA sends instructions to hack the rover's systems, allowing for text-based communication. Watney's trademark humor shines through, his logs filled with sarcastic wit and an unyielding will to live. He tells them about his farm, his water manufacturing, and his daily struggles. NASA's plan is to send a resupply probe with enough food to last him until the Ares 4 mission can arrive. The entire Jet Propulsion Laboratory works tirelessly to prepare the probe in record time, skipping standard safety inspections to meet the launch window. Unfortunately, disaster strikes. As the probe launches, the rushed preparations prove fatal. The rocket fails catastrophically, exploding moments after liftoff. The precious supplies, Watney's best hope for survival, are gone. Despair settles over NASA, and the world watches, heartbroken. Watney's own farm faces a catastrophe as well. A tiny tear in the fabric of an airlock causes an explosive decompression. The sudden change in pressure shatters the faceplate of his helmet and instantly freezes his potato plants, destroying his entire food source. He survives but is left with only the remaining rations. Time is running out faster than ever. Just when all hope seems lost, a new, incredibly risky idea emerges from an obscure JPL astrodynamicist named Rich Purnell. He devises a slingshot maneuver using Earth's gravity. The Ares 3 crew, currently on their way home, could be redirected. They could fly back to Mars, pick up a resupply probe sent from Earth, and use their MAV to retrieve Watney from the surface. The Rich Purnell maneuver is high risk, high reward. It would extend the Ares 3 crew's mission by over 500 days and put their lives in danger. NASA Administrator Teddy Sanders refuses to approve it, deeming it too reckless. He orders the crew to be kept in the dark about the plan. However, an anonymous source leaks the plan to the Ares 3 crew. Commander Lewis and her team discuss the moral implications. Unanimously, they decide to mutiny. They override NASA's controls and fire their ship's thrusters, committing themselves to the long journey back to Mars to save their friend. NASA, left with no choice, is forced to support the rogue mission. The China National Space Administration steps in, offering their powerful booster rocket, originally planned for a different mission, to send the crucial resupply probe to the returning Hermes spacecraft. It becomes a global effort, a testament to humanity's collaborative spirit. Watney now has a new, daunting task. The rendezvous point for the rescue is the Schiaparelli crater, the landing site for the Ares 4 mission, thousands of kilometers away. He must travel across Mars in his modified rover to reach the MAV that is already waiting there for the next mission. He guts the rover, stripping it of all non-essential weight to make room for life support and supplies. It's a long, lonely, and dangerous journey. He navigates by the stars and the terrain, facing challenges like a massive dust storm that blocks out the sun, nearly depleting his solar-powered vehicle. He finally reaches the Ares 4 MAV, but one final, immense hurdle remains. To intercept the fast-moving Hermes spacecraft in orbit, the MAV needs to be much, much lighter. Watney, following instructions from Earth, strips the vehicle down to its bare essentials, even removing the nose cone and replacing it with a piece of canvas. He's essentially turning a precision spacecraft into a roofless convertible. The launch is a white-knuckle ride. Watney is subjected to intense G-forces as the stripped-down rocket screams into the sky. It makes it to orbit, but it's not high enough or fast enough. The Hermes is approaching too quickly for a standard docking procedure. Commander Lewis has one last, daring plan. They will use an explosive charge to vent the ship's atmosphere, using the escaping air as a thruster to slow them down. It's an unproven and incredibly dangerous maneuver, but it's their only shot. The explosion works, but they are still out of reach. Tethered to the ship, astronaut Chris Beck heads out on a spacewalk, but the distance is too great. In a final act of ingenuity, Watney, ever the problem solver, pierces the glove of his suit. The escaping air propels him like a tiny thruster directly towards his rescuer. Beck catches him, and they are pulled safely inside the Hermes. After 687 Martian days alone, Mark Watney is finally reunited with his crew. The world celebrates as the exhausted but triumphant botanist, a symbol of resilience and human intelligence, finally begins his long journey home. He didn't just survive, he conquered a planet with nothing but his wits and an unbreakable spirit. If you enjoyed this recap, be sure to subscribe to my channel, Movies Recap Repo, for more content just like this.